Now at 6:30 on WKYT this morning, we're tracking two developing stories, including a short search for an inmate who escaped overnight from a central Kentucky jail.
We're also in Madison County, where a road is blocked because of a fire.
Calm and mild for today, nearing 50 degrees, and then guess what? Snow drops in later on tonight. We'll go over the latest forecast coming up.
Tracking, alerting, protecting. This is WKYT This Morning.
Good morning from WKYT News. A busy day here. I'm Bill Bryant.
And I'm Rebecca Smith. I'm looking forward to a warm-up.
Yeah, at least for today. And then cold weather tomorrow.
Yeah, but then it's going to get warm again, so, you know. Let's
check in with Micah as we roll with the changes. Good morning.
Good morning. There will be big changes. And, you know, I put it on my Facebook page talking about, I have a snow update, but, yeah, I'm throwing in 50 degrees in my snow update. And all you guys are saying, yeah, only in Kentucky. We've been through it before, especially back in '96, I believe is what you guys are talking about, where you had some tornado warnings, and then we had snow that night and into the next day. It's just weird weather, and you know what? We're going to do it again today. No severe weather in terms of tornadoes or anything like that, but I'm talking mild conditions. We're in 30s this morning, upper 40s to around 50s this afternoon, and then we go off into the night. We go from 48 this afternoon to 15 later on tomorrow morning. Remember, that snow kicks off later on tonight and works its way through the area in the overnight hours. Now, I'll track the latest details. I'll show you who can expect the most and also exactly when it's going to be falling on your front doorsteps coming up in about 10 minutes.
All right, here's the latest from WKYT News, and we begin with developing news this morning in Madison County, where several crews are working to put out a house fire on Catalpa Loop Road. That's just off Kentucky 52 in Richmond. It's near Lake Reba.
So far, a few details have been released. We do know that police are blocking the road because of down power lines. Our crew is being kept away from the scene right now. But we are working to learn more about what is happening. Again, this is on Catalpa Loop in Richmond.
Also developing this morning in Clark County, an inmate who escaped from jail is back behind bars after only about an hour on the run. WKYT's Whitney Wetzel is in Winchester this morning with the developing details on that.
Good morning, everyone. That inmate is now back in custody. He was gone for about an hour. Jail officials say 31-year-old Robert O'Hare went missing from the Clark County Detention Center around 3:15 this morning while on trash detail. Winchester police found him a few blocks away around 4:30. Jail officials say O'Hare is a level 1 state inmate, which means he was allowed to work in public. They say he's been a good inmate, but they believe he recently received some distressing news which may have caused him to run away. O'Hare was last arrested on October 18th. His record shows several charges, including a parole violation, theft by deception, fleeing or evading police, and resisting arrest. Jail officials say O'Hare will now have to face an escape charge, which is a felony. Live in Clark County, Whitney Wetzel, WKYT.
All right, Whitney, thank you. And months after a Kentucky mother went missing, police have charged her boyfriend with murder.
Paris Charles will be arraigned today in Lexington. He's accused of killing Goldie Massey last year, then dismembering her body. WKYT's Mark Barber is live with reaction from Massey's son.
Good morning, Rebecca and Bill. When I talked with Goldie Massey's son back in December, he told me that even though he couldn't prove it then, he believed that his mother's boyfriend killed her because he says that the two of them had a very violent relationship. Well, he says now that Paris Charles is finally charged with her murder, he wants justice for his 50-year-old mother. Goldie Massey's son reported her missing back in October. Weeks later, parts of her dismembered body started washing up on the banks of the Kentucky River in Henry and Jessamine County. Her 59-year-old boyfriend was arrested yesterday on Chatworth Drive, where investigators spent hours removing evidence from his home. Officers tell us Charles dismembered Massey last fall. We talked to Massey's son about the arrest from the Bourbon County Detention Center, which is where he's being held on an unrelated robbery charge.
My mom always told me to forgive people. I mean, I think if you take someone's life, your life should be taken. But at the same time, I think that's too easy. I think he should have to live out the rest of his days in prison if he's in fact guilty, and the rest of eternity in hell.
Charles is charged with murder and the abuse of a corpse. He will be arraigned later today. Live in Lexington, Mark Barber, WKYT.
New this morning, we are tracking a crime alert after a Lexington delivery driver was robbed. Happened around midnight on North MLK near East 4th Street. Police say a Goodfellas pizza employee was making a delivery when a masked man pulled a gun on him. The suspect got away with the pizza and the driver's cash. Also new this morning, 2 men are in jail accused of robbing a woman at a Lexington motel. It happened at the Sportsman's Motel on Winchester Road. A woman says 2 men came into her room, demanded money, and threatened her with a gun. Police later arrested Michael Jackson and Jonathan Cross at another motel, the Bryan Station Inn.
An eastern Kentucky woman is in jail after police say a man died while at her home at a Super Bowl party. Pierrette Thompson is facing neglect and other charges. Police say Thompson, her son, and 57-year-old Johnny Reed were partying on Sunday when Reed overdosed on drugs. Investigators say Thompson didn't notice anything was wrong until it was too late.
They weren't that concerned about him because of the drinking and the medications that he had taken. And finally they realized that he wasn't moving and discovered that he was dead.
Police say they found a large number of empty pill bottles at the home. Still no word this morning on what caused a massive fire at a recycling center in northern Kentucky. Smoke could be seen pouring out of Recycling Express in Florence for miles yesterday. And despite the large size of the fire, nobody was hurt. Fire officials said the fire started in an area where there were large stacks of cardboard.
We could hear testimony today in the case of a deadly New Year's Day crash. Caleb Aldridge is charged with murder, assault, and DUI. Police say he was driving when he hit a tree on 4 Mile Road in Madison County. He and 2 passengers were ejected. Chelsea Harnack was killed. Aldridge is scheduled to have a preliminary hearing today. Well, new this morning, police arrested a man caught breaking into a Lexington home. Gregory Hall is charged with burglary. Lexington police say he broke into the home on Abbeywood Road yesterday morning. We're told a neighbor saw him committing the crime and was able to write down his license plate number before calling police. The all clear has been given in a Lexington neighborhood where several homes had to be evacuated because of a gas leak. Columbia Gas says that a small gas line inside the problem caused the problem inside a home on Sandhurst Cove off Patch and Wilkes. Firefighters evacuated a dozen homes as a precaution.
Right now hitting 637 on WKYT this morning. Kentucky Senator Rand Paul is trying to clear the air after stirring a debate about vaccinations. Senator Paul said he is aware of cases of children who ended up with mental disorders after being vaccinated. But in a new statement, he denies saying that vaccinations cause mental disorders. Paul also says he thinks vaccines have saved lives and should be given to children. Senator Paul is an ophthalmologist and a potential candidate for president in 2016. In the middle of a national debate on vaccines, the White House is proposing to cut $50 million from an immunization program. In the president's 2016 budget proposal, $561 million is allotted for the program, and that's down from the current $611 million. The program is for under- and uninsured adults. The White House says the expansion of health insurance will increase access to immunizations and decrease the number of people who need the program. Well, a toast to history and to compromise. Kentucky bourbon distillers sent Congress a barrel that was filled with some of the state's best bourbons.
Senator Henry Clay from Kentucky was known as the Great Compromiser, so his descendants started a program to teach students about reconciliation. They honor these students each year at the Willard Hotel. This is the 7th year for the event, but it wasn't until President Barack Obama suggested a drink with Senator McConnell that bourbon got involved.
I'm your friend, you're my friend. We're all here for the same reason. Let's get together and let's find a solution.
The bourbon barrel was filled with samples from 9 different Kentucky distilleries.
All right, we'll see how that all works out, won't we?
We'll see if it works. It's been a while since there's been a major Powerball jackpot.
Right. Today's drawing is expected to have a prize of $317 million. It's been nearly a year since the Powerball total climbed above $300 million. So
interesting.
Just a little piece of info for you there.
See what happens. Maybe luck will be in your corner, right? Well, let's check to see if luck's in your corner out on the roads.
Our time this morning is 6:39, and let's go to Officer Don with a check on live drive traffic. Good morning.
Good morning. Inner and outer loops of the circle look good right now. So does Rochelle's Road coming in from Woodford County. And then Nicholasville Road, Brandon Crossing, Jessamine County is in great shape. On our Waze map, a couple of stalled cars. One's on the circle just past Tate's Creek Road. Another one on the outer loop of Manowar at Palumbo. That one is blocking the right lane. we'll keep you up to date. Now back to you in the studio.
All right, very good, Don. Thank you. And more news is coming up on WKYT this morning here on your Wednesday.
Wasn't the Hamburglar, but what happened inside one burger joint.
A burglar.
Not a burglar joint, but a burger joint.
Yeah.
It left a woman facing charges. We'll tell you why she was arrested.
And we're looking for mild temperatures today, nearing 50 degrees this afternoon, and then you know what happens. The bottom drops out. Things really change overnight with snow, and I'll show you the latest forecast coming up.